It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 dig, go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Yeah, that's kind of a tough question. It has changed a little bit the way we race. The car inherently races is a little bit harder to race side by side because it does have a lot more side force. It is a little bit more aero tight behind a guy, so it's a little bit harder to get right on his bumper and take the air off him and kind of move him out of the way. Those things are a little bit more difficult. So you've had to kind of change your driving style a little bit. You've had to be more aggressive at times, but yet a little bit easier at times because the car won't do what you're used to it doing in certain situations. Certain situations it's better. You can run the car a little bit looser. You can drive the car a little bit more sideways because the car does have more side force on it. So it's sort of changed how aggressive you can be at some points, and then you can be more aggressive in others. So it's just kind of changed the whole thing a little bit, and we're learning more and more about it, and we will continue over the next few years to learn more and more about this car.
Brian.
Greg, hey, Brian Nelson with MRN. When you talk about the length and longevity of the schedule, the Cup schedule, and now taking all that testing out of that, is that going to make this a little bit easier for you to get from February to November, or are you just going to fill all of that time with other means of testing?
I'm going to fill that time in with sitting on my couch. I can't wait. They didn't tell you NASCAR. I spiffed them a little bit of money to cut out that testing. No, it's it'll be good for the teams. It'll be good for the drivers. It'll give us a little more time to be organized at the shop. And I promise you will not see an impact on how competitive this sport is or how competitive we are at the racetrack and how we race, because I have this philosophy, and whether it's right or wrong, about all the testing that we've done, we've been better as a team. The 16 team has been better at the racetrack when we didn't test. I don't know why, but when we didn't go test at Bristol, we just showed up. Here we are. We've been bang, 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 top 5 going. And when we go to Richmond where we tested, we're 15th, or 18th. So I don't know what it is about it, but, I think we haven't been as good when we go and test somewhere. So, yes, it's going to give us more of an off season for sure. Granted, we only tested twice prior to the start of the season. We tested Daytona and usually the Las Vegas or California swing, one of the two. So it's not a tremendous amount over the winter that we're going to miss. We're only going to miss 2 tests. So, and then throughout the season, it'll give us those Charlotte off weeks, or when we're in Charlotte or right around that area, we're going to be able to stay at home and not go test. We'll see a little bit more time off through those periods. That'll help.
Paul.
It's Paul Kaminsky, Motorsports Radio. Greg, you talked in your answer to David about the human toll of all these layoffs and everything like that. What about our four-legged friends, your foundation? Foster and Gracie have a great owner, but there may be some people who can't afford to do that. Talk a little bit about that and how that's going to affect your foundation.
Yeah, I mean it seems like it's the same everywhere you go. It's the same old answer, and it's the same old thing. Is we're going to have to operate. Clearly, we're going to have to operate on less money. Because the people supporting our foundation, the people making donations, the fundraising we're doing, the companies participating in the golf tournament or participating in this are going to be cutting back a little bit. Everybody's going to be, cutting back a little bit. Doesn't mean they're not going to be doing it anymore. That means that I think we're going to see people scale back a little bit. And, that's going to happen everywhere. And, we're going to continue to do what we can. We got some great products We got the NASCAR pet calendar that raises a tremendous amount of money for us. And people still need to buy Christmas gifts, even though it's going to be less. We're still selling a lot of those calendars. People are shopping online more and more because they're saving the gas and saving the going out. So, the calendar sales are good through this time, but certainly we're going to have less donors. It's obvious, and I think that we just have to make do. I think people are going to have to work harder for less. Is what's going to happen. We're going to have to get our butts back to work, unfortunately, and we're going to have to work harder for less. And that's the way it's going to be for a while.
One less week on the couch.
That's right. One less week on the couch.
Bruce, and then Reed, and then if we have time, Jorge will have the last question.
Bruce Meyer with SI.com. You had a three-peat of your own at this track, winning it 3 years in a row. But it seemed because you weren't in the chase, or you were in the chase, you just weren't going to win the championship. You were kind of scuttled in here and out of here quickly. Just how big a downer was that? Kind of, you win a race, but yet everybody just wants to talk about the points champion.
Well, it's a downer because we didn't win the title, but it's kind of nice because you don't have to be at victory lane as long. Less people want to talk to you. They still write you the check and give you the trophy and send you home really quick. So that makes it nice. But no, all joking aside, it is kind of overshadowed by the championship, and we know that. And especially this year with Jimmy tying a record of 3 championships in a row. But you still do the best you can. You still try and win. And it's nice to win the last race of the season because you're the most recent winner till the Daytona 500. And that's really nice to have that in your pocket. You're the longest winner. Sometimes you're fortunate enough to win when there's a week off. But to win when there's 3 months off is nice.
Reed.
Yeah, Greg. Reed Spencer with Sporting News. With the testing ban, since everybody is always looking for an edge in some way, shape, or form, do you think that teams that can afford to do so, like yours, like Hendrick, will take some of the money they save from testing and redirect that into other technology like computer simulations, more wind tunnel time, stuff like that?
I think you will see some guys working at home a little bit more, but I don't think you're going to see that just triple fold with the way that things are going right now. We will redirect, obviously, probably redirect some of that energy into learning a little bit more back at the shop. There's no doubt, but I don't think that it's going to just go off the deep end like our sport, or not like our sport, but like we have been so aggressive in the past about trying to get this car going and up to speed. I think that I think this is kind of a caution flag for everybody to cut back a little bit. I don't think that you're going to see us run out and buy a whole bunch of technology to try and figure stuff out at the house. I don't see that happening.
We'll end with Jorge.
Greg, Jorge Mendaca, FoxSports.com. One of the most common questions we get from fans is, with the teams being the way they are, what's keeping you from taking out Jimmy Johnson on Sunday? What's keeping Jack from saying, "Hey guys, we know what it takes to win the championship. Go help Jimmy get into the wall," or from Rick Hendrick telling his guys, "Hey, everybody drop back and let Jimmy clinch the championship"?
I think what it comes down to is sportsmanship. It comes down to sportsmanship. It comes down to pride, and it comes down to class. And we're not that kind of organization. We don't act like that. And nothing stops me from wrecking the 48 car on lap 1. But that's not the way that we do business. That's not what my sponsor wants me to do. My sponsor wants me to get the best finish I can, and I think that's the philosophy of Roush Fenway, and Jack is instill that in us. We treat people like how we want to be treated, and that's not that's just not the way we're going to conduct ourselves. In the sport, yes, that could happen, or you could do that, but certainly we don't condone any of that.